Pisces, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, you have my love. If you are brand new to the channel or just cross-watching for your particular sign, I'm JT. Like I always say, sometimes the major arcana and the minor arcana work out in our day-to-day grind. If they don't work out, don't try to make it fit, all right? We're just going to use our intuition. Do keep in mind that I always place your haiku poems right before your reading. With that being said, we're going to shuffle up. All right, Pisces, I wish for you in this reading clarity. I wish for you in this reading some kind of comfort, some kind of truth to be exposed. I wish for you that your love life, that your finances, that your relationships, they all fall into the category of, I was about to say something else, but I'm not going to say that. I want them to line out for you, Pisces. I want people around you to understand who you are. We are a different kind of a breed. I'm a Pisces myself. And so we think deep. We think very, very deep. And sometimes we wear our emotions really, 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 really hard on our shoulders. So anyway, I want this reading to be some kind of a clarification for you, okay? All right, we're going to talk about your categories here. We've got your current energy, your crossing challenge. We have the foundation, recent past. We have the possibilities, the near future, the self, the environment, hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and the outcome and the direction. Also, Pisces, I am going to pull some clarifying cards here. We'll talk about these. All right. All right, Pisces, check it out. Give me just a minute to look at these cards. I'm going to go over it. I have your brand new poems ready for you, and we'll start this reading. Okay, Pisces, we open up your reading with the Three of Pentacles here, okay? What I'm seeing is, and what I'm thinking this is about is a person has been denying what they feel about you, what they know about you. I think you sense this, you know this, but the communication may or may not be, for some of you, you may be in separation right now, okay? But I feel like there is definitely a connection there, and you're just trying to get clarity upon this, okay? So if you're ready to start this, we're going to do it, okay? Right, like I said, we got this Three of Pentacles energy here. This is talking about rebuilding something, more than likely it's going to be talking about your confidence here, because we've got some leveling up action taking place here. But I feel like somebody else from external. We do have the Three of Pentacles, right? So I feel like there's an external source here. They're impressed as well, but I feel like they're also intimidated. There is a sign of intimidation there, okay? Um, Someone maybe at work, or I don't know, in your creative circle, or I'm not sure. Maybe somebody's just trying to find excuses, to collaborate. I don't know. This has got a low key attraction to you. This could be you. Maybe you're trying to collaborate with somebody. Reach out, okay? but it's like it's got a masculine energy here, kind of a, I don't know. I've been studying you. I've been looking at your social media. Like it's a blueprint, right? Not in a negative way. It's just I kind of want to know who you follow. I want to know what you post. What are your comments? Um, we could be talking about the feminine energy here as well. It's just like it's got finally asking for help. Instead of like pretending she can do everything alone here. I don't mean to get gender specific there, but I'm just saying it could be roles could be reversed, right? But you're becoming more visible. Okay, perhaps some of you got a side hustle, something like that going on. So this could be that clients or opportunities, or some kind of like your social media. You're gaining followers or something like that. But somebody wants to build with you, but hasn't kind of figured out how to say it, without sounding maybe needy or something like that, right? I don't know. It's got project, partnership, or some kind of a shared goal in this energy. Okay, but someone's trying to impress you, maybe with consistency instead of charm. Okay, this could be you. Like I said, maybe you're part of this, trying to reach out to do the same thing. Okay, but like I said, it could be a coworker or a friend. That there may be a subtle jealous here. Of progress for some of you, but you're becoming someone that people want to align with here. Okay, and I have a feeling it's not just romantically. We're talking about professionally uh, and more emotionally. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about the challenge card. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here, right? Now, the Eight of Pentacles is all about its consistency. All right, the challenge here is about consistency, yours, or theirs, right? It's, I don't know, maybe someone in your energy is like saying, I'll do better, but maybe their actions are kind of lagging behind. We did have that. Clarifying card here, okay, and we're going to talk about it. But it's like the Three of Pentacles tells me um, you're tired of being the only one putting in emotional labor here. Okay, it could look like the masculine energy is kind of like hyper focused on work, maybe to avoid some vulnerability here. All right, it could look like the feminine energy is overworking. Maybe to try to avoid thinking about some kind of a heartbreak, something that's coming up, or that you think that's coming up. I feel like it's an illusion here. Like I said, with that clarifying Three of Pentacles as well, it's, you may feel like you're doing everything right, but not seeing like results. Okay, and this could be like the breadcrumb, the unintentional breadcrumb, right? Perhaps because a person's overwhelmed, so it's got that kind of a drawback. But we are talking about coins here. The Pentacles. So maybe there's a job or a project that might require more from you, maybe than you expected here. Okay, it's I'm almost close to a breakthrough, and you're just like half tempted to give up on this situation, whether that's the relationship side of this, or maybe some of your side hustles or something like that. But I don't know. This has got someone wants to prove themselves to you, but I feel like there's kind of like this fear in the background here, kind of the fear of failing, right? But I really feel like with the two of these cards here, as the clarifier, it's kind of like the universe is asking you, it's asking you for like sustained effort, not necessarily perfection, just hang in there, right? Okay. We're going to talk about the foundation here, and we've got the Temperance card. Right off the bat, we could be talking about Sagittarius energy. We don't have to be, but you could be dealing with Sagittarius in your timeline here. But this is healing from the extremes, the overgiving, the overthinking, the overloving, right? The pouring from one cup to the other. It's transmutation. It's alchemizing those past lessons, right? And I feel like they taught you patience, and it may have been through frustration for some of you, right? It could be talking about also that soulmate connection. It's got that slow burn. It's not an instant gratification. Okay, it's for others that could be like the blending of families or something like that, lifestyles, cultures, or maybe just even your schedule day to day or something like that. But I feel like it's also the masculine energy here is kind of like learning to communicate instead of maybe shutting down. And the feminine energy is like learning to receive instead of like overcompensating. Okay. It could be a long distance relationship that's building, that might be like the connection stabilizing or something. But this really, really speaks, the heart of it speaks to like the timing instead of like forcing outcomes. Okay. This is I'm becoming emotionally unshakable here. Okay. So your foundation is emotional maturity. And this is basically changing everything. Okay. We're going to talk about the recent past. And in the recent past, we have this page of Wands energy, right? Some of you, take this how you want. Some of you could feel, in the moment, right? It's that tune, that one that brings you back. It could be about love songs, could be just happy as hell songs. I'm just saying, that this came in hot. It's got flirtation, it's got impulsive, it's got exciting, but it also has that pullback, right? And we're seeing that with the clarifying card of the Three of Wands here. Okay, both wands, fire energies. We could be talking about Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We don't have to be, but maybe that lines up for some of you. But it's hot and heavy. It's steamy, and I think this is the daydreaming. This is the intense. I don't know, the avoiding that daytime vulnerability. When you look at that person, you're watching their lips. Perhaps some of you are you know, I just got to say, you're caught, maybe like watching somebody a little too long. Here it's that long stare, right? It's I don't know. It could have been like a third party situation as well. It talks about that. Maybe it's nothing serious, but I feel like there's a distraction in that as well. But that's kind of like the late night text. That is, I'm thinking of what to do, thinking of how to send it. We're just needing that action to come through, to follow through. But this is definitely a crush, or a situationship that kind of like reignited briefly here. Okay. Someone admired your confidence, but I feel like maybe they weren't ready for the depth. Okay. And maybe this caused you to kind of like start, dreaming bigger for yourself here. You know what I mean? The past was passion, but I don't think it had a whole lot of direction. For some of you, it could have been, the hopeful, this person doesn't even know how I feel, or or maybe there was just a small ignite, small spark, that small flirtatious gesture or something like that. Okay. But we're going to talk about this possibilities here. We got this Five of Swords energy. This is going to poke an old bruise here, right? Once again, take it with a grain of glitter. It's a moment you stop participating in all the one-sided battles of your life here. Okay. For some of you, this could have been during a major, conversation. Something like this could have taken place. It doesn't have to apply, but just hear me out. It's like someone's trying to win an argument instead of like resolving the argument. Okay. Or it's definitely got a masculine energy here. It's like, I don't want to lose control. And so instead, what I'll do is I'll use silence as my weapon. You know what I mean? This could be talking about a person who may be avoidant by nature. Okay. Um, but the feminine energy here kind of withdraws, maybe when they feel misunderstood. So it's got both of those energies, right? I don't want to have to explain my worth. So I'm going to walk away from the drama without the guilt, right? So I just pull back. Maybe somebody's thinking I pushed too far, but it's kind of like choosing peace over proving a point. But I feel like the underlying energy here really is trying to say the possibility is more. It's more about liberation. It's not about defeat here, and that could be a mirrored on both sides if we're talking about a soulmate connection, or if we're talking about that job opportunity, or that for some of you doing a side hustles or your own business or something like that. It's about liberation. Okay. We're going to talk about the near future, and we have this Five of Cups in the near future. Look, once again, another band-aid ripped off here, but what this is about is someone regrets maybe losing access to you. Okay. We do have the clarifying card here, and it's the King of Wands. Some more fire, some more passion. All right. We're talking about, again, like I said, it could be, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but this is the person that realizes maybe they might have misplayed, their hand here. Okay. Someone sees you moving on, they panic internally. That's got that kind of energy. It's like, I don't know, maybe you receive some kind of a vulnerable type message like, hey, I may have messed up here. It could look like maybe that third party that falls away, whatever that doesn't necessarily have to be people. It could be just, circumstances around you that kind of just dissolve themselves away, leaving more of a clarity on perhaps that external person or whatever, right? But this is like a wave of sadness before the breakthrough here. It's kind of like it's saying to me, I'm releasing all these old emotional attachments. Um, someone's seeing your true colors, and I feel like it hurts maybe, but this also frees you here. It's got, maybe the masculine in this situation, and I'm not talking about male here. I'm talking about just that energy, right? Maybe they finally admit their fear, you know, and it's not about disinterest. It's just vulnerability. It's fear. Like I said, we could be dealing with somebody who may be a little bit avoidant, afraid to open up. Okay, but anyway, regret is definitely the catalyst for truth here. Okay, and like I said, we do have that King of One. It's energy, so I feel like this is a masculine. And when I say that, you guys, like I said, I'm not talking about the male here. And I know most of you know this if you watch tarot, but we do have a combination of both male and or both male. Well, we do male and female. I was born from a mama, but I'm just saying. So masculine energies and feminine energy here. So just take what applies. We can always be, a male in our feminine position, right? Or feminine in the male position. So masculine. Or anyway. All right. So now we're talking about the self. We got this two swords. This is, you're torn between protecting your heart and opening up again. I feel like it's or it could be torn between two choices. Relationship wise, you could be dealing with a couple of different situations that you'd like to see move forward, or you're making the decision to move away from them. It could also talk about that job, the influences on it, the external, making choices towards those. But I feel like there might be an avoidant of a decision here, because both options that you have kind of feel risky, right? you know uh, Perhaps somebody wants clarity from you, but I don't know, they ain't earned it yet, right? um, you're learning maybe to trust your boundaries here, and so you may unblock someone multiple fucking times. It's like you're just kind of tired of the mixed signals, right? So it's go time. You're afraid of those old patterns, and so it's definitely becoming way more discerning, knowing you're choosing yourself first, and that might feel brand new to some of you. You know what I mean? It might feel really awkward. You're not that type of person. You're a Pisces. We're used to, like, I'm going to take on everybody's weight. I'm tough, I'm strong, I can do this. But we know we wear our emotions there as well. And so being overburdened by the emotions of, even though this person probably doesn't mean any harm, right? No harm, no foul. It's just you have a tendency to take on those energies. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. We're going to talk about this environment. We got the Ace of Cups here. Some of you could resonate with the spirit animal, the hummingbird. Okay, the reason I say it's like this is all about timing. It's those beautiful things coming in little packages, right? And I feel like this is love, or maybe a renewed love for some of you, somebody from your past or something like that, that's about to enter into your environment here. This doesn't have to be the case, but someone could, finally confess those feelings after holding back for a while. It could be the masculine energy becomes emotionally available. That feminine energy is softening up, letting somebody in. You know, um, we're talking like that crush. It's going to be way more obvious here. Okay, if you don't know, that's the divine offering, right? A new friendship, that's becomes meaningful. It's got, I feel seen, valued. I feel like this is, I feel chosen. So it's definitely your heart reopening, and I feel like there's a mutual aspect to this. We did, have the Three of Pentacles in your energy, right? And so there you go. That's on the way here. We got the hopes, fears, the wishes and worries, and it keeps getting better with the cups. It's all about emotions here. It's all about safety, comfort. This is commitment. This is emotional safety. This is the future. But I kind of still have that hint that, you imagine a life with someone, but maybe you fear that they might let you down. You want that family, the stability, the long-term relationship. And so, choosing wrong again is part of that, part of the operation that, you're ready to strike, through that, right? It's someone sees you as long-term maybe, but hasn't said it yet, and so, you want that emotional intimacy, but you're also kind of like, um, not just the chemistry either, right? It's you fear abandonment, but I crave connection. So it's got both of those in it. I dream of a future with you. but maybe this person is kind of hiding those feelings. You want to feel chosen, and I don't want to look like I'm begging here. So you're ready for real love, and your heart wants forever, but maybe your mind is still kind of remembering the past here, right? All right, we're going to talk about this outcome. It's not what you think. This Ten of Swords, this Ten of Swords with your clarifying card, Ten of Pentacles, we got 10-10. That tells me right off the bat, okay, this is a brand new timeline. Something is definitely shifting or has shifted major for you. I'm going to unpack this for you, so take this with a grain of salt. This is the painful cycle that ended. For some of you, it could be relationship, but it is definitely the sun is about to rise on you because, like I said, your clarifying card, you know, 10 of Pentacles, 2 10s. That is a beautiful, beautiful sign. So a painful cycle is ending, and then there's something that's leading to long-term stability here, right? Someone who betrayed you maybe tries to return with accountability. So I feel like this could be that truth about that third party. It's the half effort, it's over, or that job, or like I said before, that financial situation ending, but leads to that better opportunity. That's all in this card, right? The unexpected money, the inheritance, or the long-term security. Those are kind of the generic forms here, but I'm going to take this as a sign as well as those, is like the relationship transforming after some kind of a breaking point, right? Excuse me. Pisces, the ending is becoming like the beginning of your 10 of Pentacles era here, right? The worst is over. And what's next is the legacy. This is what you've been working for. This is what you're putting in the effort for, rebuilding your life with intention. You're attracting the kind of people, um, you know, the ones who offered the crumbs, and it may be that person from the past with that deep regret that may return with the honesty. But you're no longer the version of yourself who accepts that kind of inconsistency, right? So take my advice here. I feel like there is love, or at least a renewed kind of love here, about to enter into your world. Okay, and this is gonna have that emotional maturity. Okay, and I feel like that's what's going to become your superpower from here on out. Okay, Pisces and myself, I love this kind of reading. It makes me want to smile. My heart is smiling. I love it. Okay. Yep, we go through things. We do. And we do have a tendency to wear a lot of emotions. We've been all the way around the wheel. You know this about us. So, anyway, I love you, Pisces. I hope this was confirmation or clarity for others. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, would you? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscription button, turn your notifications on. Anyway, I love you, I respect you, and I hope to get to see you on the next readings. All right, bye-bye.